Okay, I'm back. I needed to cut that video because it was getting too long anyways. The money that he took, we each pulled out $2,000 on Thursday night before I went to jail to go look at a camper so that I could escape. He pulled out $2,000. I pulled out $2,000 because the camper was going to be $4,000. I just counted my money and I have $800 left. So $1,200 of my $2,000 portion of our tax return has been used to buy food for this family, to provide for this family, to give them their weed, all of this stuff. And Bob has contributed, Robert Schmidt Jr. has contributed almost zero to our family since January 1st. And he's doing this so that I wind up losing all of my money again this month, so I won't be able to escape. That they keep telling me that this isn't what they're doing, that this isn't what's happening, but I told them today, this is just an algebra equation. If you guys know what's hurting me, plus minus X, or plus X, whatever it would be, and equals I'm being hurt. What is X? If you guys know that I have all of these medical problems and I'm having issues with pain management and getting enough sleep, and that I'm not being able to eat often, and that you guys are keeping me nonstop busy, minus X plus X times X, whatever, equals I never get to eat, I'm worn out, I barely get to sleep, I'm having panic attacks, I'm stressed out, I'm overworked, I'm exhausted, I'm injuring myself every single day trying to keep up with the demands of this family. What is X? If I'm telling you guys constantly what my needs are and why I have those needs, and they are medical needs, it's not something that's a personal preference. It's not something that I get to choose, that I get to change. It's not being picky. It's not being difficult. It is medical needs. And if my medical needs are continuously not met, and in fact weaponized against me, what response do you guys expect me to have? People can only go so long without dreaming and having sleep. People can only go so long without eating and bathing. My daughter offered to make malto meal for breakfast this morning, and I double checked with her that she remembered how it was made, and she confirmed that, brown sugar, butter, and syrup. She got it completely made, served on the table, and then told me that we were out of syrup. I have a long-standing rule in the household that I buy things in bulk as much as possible, and keep a pantry, pretty much like a tiny grocery store of all of our major supplies in our basement, in our laundry room, so that whenever we're going to cook and it's a late night, we've been busy, whatever, we have all the basic things for, if you have the most basic things for a kitchen, there's almost nothing that you can't make. And I like to do home cooking, and my family likes the home cooking, and they like to participate in it, or at least they used to. And they didn't. We had pancakes a week ago. Sunday yesterday, I got out of jail. The Sunday before, we had pancakes, and I waited to eat my pancakes until everybody was able to eat pancakes, till all the pancakes was cooked, because I didn't want to eat my pancakes and Robert Schmidt still be cooking pancakes. I wanted us to be a family on a Sunday morning and eat pancakes together and watch a movie. Strange expectation, apparently too high of expectations. Kira asked for the syrup. Everybody had everything set on their plates. I was still trying to get my pancakes and put butter on my pancakes. The syrup was right in front of me, and Kira asked for it. And I said, just one moment, honey, let me pour it on my plate before I pass it to you. I take so long to eat. I want to get a chance to at least get a couple bites in before you guys are finished, because you guys are able to eat really fast. And the reason why I have to eat so slow is all the surgeries that I've had. Bad esophagus. I'm choking on food. I'm choking on water whenever I'm eating. And so I take it really, really slow, to not overwhelm my system. And I'm supposed to like eat small amounts very frequently throughout the day. Not big, huge, massive meals, and definitely not massive meals that have a lot of grease and fat and, dairy and all of that in it. And they're continuously just pasta, dairy, fat, pasta, dairy, fat, pasta, dairy, fat, pasta, dairy, fat. And it just messes with my system so much. It makes me so sick. But they still keep insisting on making it tonight. Despite me planning last night and him doing a meat order and showing me a list that he created of what all the meats were in the basement in the freezer, most of which I have purchased by myself with my Social Security money, January, February, and March. He spent about $100 on some meats a few days ago, like 2 days before I was sent to jail. So Wednesday before I was sent to jail. Those meats that he bought were only ones, it literally was exactly the meats that he had used out of meats that I had purchased on nights that he had come over and ate dinner at our house, where me and the kids stay at, not at his apartment. So he already knew 2 nights ago when he decided to make hamburgers. Friday night when I went to jail, he wanted to make hamburgers. And he never bothered to find out if there was any hamburger meat. And so Kira went and checked on it, found out that there was, in fact, hamburger meat. Whenever he got home from work, he never asked anybody to get the hamburger meat out. It was done in the group text message. So my son, my daughter, me, everybody knew that they were planning on hamburgers that night and that somebody would need to go down and check to see if we actually had ground beef to make hamburgers. Well, that night, about 6 o'clock, kind of like tonight, the way things went, he came home from work, still was clueless, no plan, didn't, I think he bought buns, but never bothered to check to see if we had meat. Kira had, but didn't get it out. She went down there to check to see if we had it, but didn't pull it out so it could get defrosted out of the deep freezer. So I sent a text about midday that day, and I said, I'm going to look in my crystal ball and I'm going to predict what's going to happen this evening. And I was right, except for I could never have predicted I was going to get arrested and go to jail that night. Exactly what I thought was going to happen, that he was going to pretend not to do anything. He was going to wait until 7 o'clock to start thinking about cooking. The kids were going to be ravenous and start eating junk food out of the pantry. And then not want to eat dinner, and then nobody was going to be eating dinner together, that Robert Schmidt Jr. was going to start becoming violent and angry with me over all of it, antagonizing me for the issue. I was going to wind up becoming angry after several hours of it going on, and I'm going to wind up yelling. I'm going to wind up yelling and being angry, and I really don't want to do that. And that is what happened, except for I never became angry, yelling. I never hit anybody. I never hurt anybody. All I did was try to not let him take my records from me. For whatever reason, he antagonized me. And at 7:30, almost 8 o'clock, they were still trying to deal with getting the potatoes cut for the French fries and create the hamburger patties to cook, and were refusing to talk to me because they can't talk to me while they're cooking. I'm sitting in the dining room 4 feet from them talking to them, and they're not ignoring me. They said they're not ignoring me. I was just paranoid. That's what they said. You're just paranoid. How can we possibly talk to you? We're in here cooking. And I said, well, every time I've ever cooked with you guys, we've played music and we've talked. We've even stopped in the middle of cooking and started dancing with each other. I don't understand. And so I tried to go up and take a bath because I had an abscess on my butt, on my rectum. And he started yelling at me and stuff like that, and everything escalated. The cops believed them. I had bruises on me, cuts on me, and my neck's all like out of whack, and it didn't matter. And so he started it again tonight. He does this every Friday night. He can usually maintain pretty decently between 4:30 and 10 p.m. on the weeknights. especially since, see, it doesn't matter if I invite him over or not. The laws in Illinois and what the court told us at the last OP I tried to get was that the place that I'm staying at with the kids and I'm taking care of solely and I'm providing for solely, he has another apartment only in his name. All of his property is over there, but he is paying both bills on both places. I have asked to take over the cell phone bills. I have asked to take over the streaming service bills. I have asked to take over the car insurance bills. I have asked to take over the life insurance bills. I've asked to take over the children's copays. I've asked to, what else have I asked to take over? I offered to pay at least half of the utilities, but I wasn't going to pay all of them because I feel that he needs to contribute something in the utilities for his children. And I didn't want to pay anything for the house because, again, he should provide a place for his children to live. And since I'm there being the maid, the cook, the gardener, the homeschool educator, the pet care, the zoo care, the veterinarian, the taxi, the vacation planner, all of those things, that the least that I could get for doing all of that work for his children, my children, yes, I'm there doing the work for them, yes. That's why I'm doing the work for them, because they are my children. That the least I thought that he could do was make sure they had a roof over their head with utilities. And he's done nothing but complain about it and accuse me of being the problem because he's out of the house. I didn't force him to leave the house. I didn't make him get another apartment. I didn't make him take his paycheck out of our joint checking account. I didn't make him cross my boundaries that if I ask for a specific boundary, like, hey, I don't want you messing with my laundry. It's my laundry. Everybody here is taking care of theirs. The kids each wash theirs, fold it, dry it, put it away. I want to do the same, and I want you to do the same for yours. I don't want to wash your stuff anymore, and I don't want you washing my stuff anymore. And instead of him abiding by that, which is really no extra effort for him to not do work for me, not to do my laundry. He should rejoice that he doesn't have to be burdened by my needs. But whenever I came back in January after running away in December to Missouri, he kept taking my laundry from me. Like every 3 days, he would go into the room that I explicitly requested to be only my room and that he never enter. That's where I'm going to keep all of my property, all of my beans. That's my personal space. I put locks on everybody's bedroom doors so that everybody had the opportunity to be able to lock their bedroom door if they just wanted to ensure separation from anybody, whether Bob's coming into their room at 4:00 in the morning asking, is this your sock? Or if I'm upset after being abused by my husband all day and you guys just want to get away and have a safe place where nobody can open your door. And that's what I did for the kids while Bob's been out. I got chains put on the door after he raided the house while I was trying to take my daughter to get oral surgery so that her braces can continue working. I've scheduled her 6 times to have that done, and 6 times he has created an issue that he blamed on me that caused her not to go. This last time he raided the house, I found out from Ian that he had come into the house through a back door, climbed a fence to go through the back door to start coming into the house to take stuff out. So instead of being able to complete taking my daughter to her frenectomy, her oral surgery, I was just getting gas. I was only a couple blocks away. So he had to have known the second that I left the house, because I was only able to get a couple blocks away, begin filling my gas before Ian contacted me and said that Dad was raiding the house and taking things. So I came back and I told him, you wanted to know who was taking Kira to the doctor's appointment? You are. You're going to take her now so that I can be here. I'm disabled. I'm sick. I need to stay here. You apparently have time off of work to be able to be here to raid the house. So you definitely have time off of work to be able to take your daughter to the appointment that I have scheduled 6 times. I had messaged him the day before through text message, reminding him that he would need to do that the next day and that there would be a copay. The copay is $250. The copay for our dentistry is always $250. It's always been $250 for 10 years. But he didn't know that. So whenever he took her there and they told him that it was $250, he yelled at the receptionist and he said, "This is fucking bullshit." The nurse, the receptionist, whatever there, Kira told me, was trying to offer him an opportunity to just pay half that day and pay the rest later. And I think that's whenever he said, "This is bullshit." And then they told him that, Kira was already back in the seat, had her little thing on, ready to get the work done. Luckily, they hadn't numbed her yet because they needed to get his consent and his signature for the treatment plan. But he blew up. We got dismissed from our dentist that we have had for 25 years that day because he screamed profanities at a receptionist at Springfield Dental Center on Wabash in Springfield, Illinois. That was him trying to help me take care of the family. And it was my fault. I should have told him that there was a copay. But I did 6 times when I scheduled it. And it's always been a $250 copay for our dentistry. So in June of 2025, he had paid time off from work to be able to go sign up for our insurance, and I went with him despite me just having surgery not too long before, and I was very, very sick. I don't remember exactly what was happening. Probably a ton of stress, but I was very sick, very nauseous, not feeling well at all. And he made me go up to a state building, walk a football field through it, to go sit through a presentation about the insurance. And the lady told us that the state was offering $600 to put in one of those health savings plans that, like, you put money in before you get your check and prior to taxes. And the state, if you signed up for it, would put $600 in there initially for you to begin pulling from. And then whatever you pull out of that $600 is what gets pulled out of your next check. So you can do a budgeting plan, and like if you need to buy glasses or something, you could do this like every couple of months, have the $600 in there pre-tax, get people's glasses, pay for co-pays. You get a $400 bill from SIU like I just did. You have the money just to pay it off and not get threatened of it going to collections. We were there and we both agreed at the thing, we're going to sign up for it. He said, "No, I don't want to do it today." The lady that gave us the presentation imparted, "You would be a fool not to take this option if you're on this insurance plan." And we're on that insurance plan. And after we walked out of the room, we were supposed to walk out of the room, go downstairs to where there was people that would sign the paperwork for you. And it would be all set up come July 1st. This was in early June. For open enrollment. He insisted on not going down there to sign the paperwork, despite I pulled my ass out of bed and was already there. All we had to do was take an elevator ride down and walk into a room that was right there. And he refused. He said he would do it later. He would get with me and let me know when the next day was, that they would have a presentation and get us signed up for it. He never signed up for it. He never signed up for it. And he later, whenever I found out about that in August, because I was going up for my infusion to start on the Stelara, the medicine that I don't have to be able to take today, we needed money to be able to buy some stuff. And there's a lot of times that he mismanages our budget, and then I wind up going out without simple over-the-counter medications or my prescription medications, because despite us bringing in $13,000 a month, we wind up being overdrafted, and I can't pay a $5 copay for my medication, and I just go without. That's what's going on all the time, every day, every month, keeping me sick. Today I looked through all of my videos here on this YouTube channel, and you can see a stark difference in the way that I've changed, the way I used to be. and what all this has driven me to. So I said to myself whenever I was in prison, if what's happening right now and me being there in solitary confinement with an abscess blowing my anus out by myself, eating a flour tortilla and toilet water, didn't convince me that I was unsafe with these people, then nothing was going to. So despite my husband trying to make it out, despite Robert Schmidt Jr., not my husband, despite Robert Schmidt Jr. trying to make it out that I'm just some crazy psycho lady that just overreacts and just creates problems, just creates issues. I'm going to remove that issue from him so that he doesn't have to suffer that anymore. I wouldn't want him to suffer being my caregiver that he wants to be and behaving as a husband that he wants to be and behaving like a father that he wants to be. I don't want to bother him anymore with my nonsense of being alive. So I'm going to move on to other places, and I'm going to trust in Jesus. And Jesus always provides for me. Even while I was in that cell, he was there providing for me. So were many angels that look over me. So were many ancestors that I've connected through ancestor processes and deep meditation processes that take a commitment of 3 hours of chanting and praying for 21 days straight. That's commitment. And it was done to set my ancestors free from the enslavement, and my arm's shaking from holding this, to free my ancestors from what they had suffered, and especially the women in all of our lineages that have lived this and met their demise at the hands of a man who claimed to be protecting them. So thank you for listening. God bless and be well.